On this episode of the O&S Podcast, we have the guys from Amity Brothers Coffee. They're a new coffee roaster that's here in Sarasota, Florida. They are my longtime friends, and they are a new company. We're talking coffee. We're talking about the new O&S and Amity Brothers giveaway that we're going to be running in about a week and a half, and all things from Disney Channel shows to Portland and coffee. And it's a fun, wide-ranging conversation. I hope you enjoy this episode of the O&S Podcast.
Sorry.
with 1836?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. How do you start it?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. You just went.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just go. Can we get these up?
You don't even see it, bro.
Tissues.
That's a lamp.
That's a lamp. I did make it in, though.
That's pretty good.
Turns it on next time.
Do you have COVID?
No, I do not.
Oh, okay.
We rolling?
Yeah, I'm recording.
All right. Rock on. Hey.
Rock on.
Welcome to the O&S Podcast.
Yeah.
It's great to have you guys on.
It's great to be here, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, why don't you go around and introduce yourselves?
Should I? Okay. Me?
You go. I'm Chase. I am one of the Amity brothers, and
I am Ryan Parker.
Mm-hmm.
You probably know me from Amity Brothers, and also the designer of O&S logo.
There it is. And a lot of other things for O&S.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you're the man.
Yeah, thanks.
You do a lot.
Thanks.
You do a lot for the brand.
I try.
Hey, and I'm Chris of Amity Brothers Coffee.
Chris Lemaster.
Chris Lemaster.
What's your, you have a nickname. What is it?
Tygon.
Tygon. Can I call you Tygon for the rest of the podcast?
You can try.
All right, perfect. All right, Tygon Chris.
Tygon Chris.
So
It's just one. It's not both.
yeah. So Chris is going to be switching for us. He's an engineer, and we've got all three of the Amity brothers. I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
So the reason you guys are on the podcast today, for a plethora of reasons, but the main reason is we're doing a promo for the crossover of our brands to do a giveaway.
Yeah.
So explain to people what you guys do. What is Amity Brothers?
Chris?
Oh, me. Cool. Hey. So what do you mean by what is Amity?
What is it?
So we're
What do people?
Yeah.
What is it?
we're a family. I mean, essentially we sell coffee, but it's more than that. We sell culture and feeling and family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you guys come up with Amity Brothers? Where did the name come from?
It was a long time to try to figure out a name that really fit what we wanted to describe, because there's a lot of coffee roasters out there. There's a lot of people that are doing what we've done, but we liked the whole culture behind coffee. And so all of us, I mean, we all grew up in different families, but we grew up together. And so we have a relationship that's like brothers. So we wanted something to... we wanted people to know that when you are trying our product, it's really us giving another family member our product, and that's how we approached everything that we do. Is we're a family, and we want you guys to be a part of our family. And it's kind of cliche, but it's also we couldn't think of a better thing to build our company around other than our relationship and the relationship around coffee. So Amity meaning like a bond, that connection, and brothers meaning our relationship.
Yeah,
and
great.
It's like a brother without another mother.
Did you say brother without a mother?
No, I said a brother with another mother.
No, I think it's brother from another mother.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, that
That's
probably
true.
makes sense. Brother with another mother.
So I know that, I mean, have you guys always had a love for coffee? I mean, Parker, we've all known each other for a while. I know you guys
Yeah.
have been coffee snobs for a while, but what pushed you into,
Whoa, bro.
I'm sorry.
Coffee connoisseurs.
Okay, my bad. Connoisseur.
That's even worse.
Connoisseur. But what pushed you guys over the edge of just wanting to actually start your own coffee company?
Well, I think what started it was, I think we always had the idea, as in after the bands and all that stuff. So we started playing in bands together. But I wanted to actually white label coffee.
What does that mean?
Or black label. It's essentially reaching out to another roaster or just another roaster, and then slapping a logo on a bag and using their coffee and then selling it.
That sounds shady.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people.
I guess I experienced that in clothing.
Yeah,
like
a lot of clothing.
a lot of clothing companies will not manufacture the clothing, but they'll just put their brand on it.
Right.
So it's essentially the same thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, every YouTube coffee person, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what
they're
they're doing.
selling black labeled coffee.
Gotcha.
And at the time, we didn't have any equipment, and it wasn't really in our, I guess, our near future at the time to get a roaster and start doing it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But, Ryan had always been into the graphics and the branding behind coffee culture, and he loved it. And he's like, I think I can do a lot better at branding some of this product than we see everywhere else.
Sure.
And so I think that was the first thing. You were like, there's good coffee out there, but I have a better skill in branding. And
so I had the idea of obviously starting. So my first idea was Floridian coffee. I was born in Florida, so I actually made a brand and everything and brought it to the guys, and they're like, well, why don't we just start a roasting company? Like, Chris has always been really into chemistry. He's always been kind of loved that side of coffee. We've started brewing and being baristas at different places. So we're like, we have some sort of experience, so let's try to dive in. And there was actually another local coffee shop that was starting to dabble in roasting, and then just decided not to do it just because it was a little more work. So we ended up buying his roaster and then starting the company. So I pivoted my ideas and then pulled the guys in. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So I know, Chris, you're more of the roaster, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that kind of dialed that in. How hard has that process been as far as learning the art of roasting?
Well, in Sarasota, it was really hard.
Why is that?
There was no one else to learn from, or who would be willing to give up information
Sure.
on that. But then we just YouTubed it.
That's the great thing about YouTube.
I just started watching a bunch of videos, and then applied the chemistry that I was in school for into the processes that happened and the transformation the bean goes through during the roasting process.
So you just had to dive deep into that kind of whole world. So it seems like you guys have like your different things that you bring to the company. So that's a really good model for any company is like you all three can't be good at branding. You all three can't be good at roasting.
Right.
Like there has to be different hats that are worn. So
Yeah, exactly.
it seems like you're the bean master.
They call him roast master.
Roast master. That's right.
bean-
I knew it was something.
I like Bean Master. So much better.
Okay, we'll go with that. Bean master,
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah.
Bean master, Chris. And what else do you do as far as that?
So ultimately, we would try to do a lot of things together. It's who has the final say. So I'm not saying that I pick all the beans. We'll get together and we'll all try the beans to see if it's a good pick. But so as a bean master, I'll do roasting. I do all the roasting. I do all the tasting.
You guys need to keep that. I like
That's
it.
a thing now.
Coffee guys are like,
Bean master. What the hell's that? And then I do the business side of things.
Okay.
So I run the business in that sense. I do
Like the bookkeeping and
the
all of that.
bookkeeping, the
Buying.
management, making sure that we're up to.
You're making money.
Yeah.
That's good.
And yeah, so I do all our ordering. I do our resourcing and stuff like that as well.
Okay. And then Parker, you're the brand master.
Yeah, well, funny story. So yeah, the tag in on the old thing, what Chase was saying is that I wanted to do my own brand for my own company.
Sure.
But now the fact that it was actually our coffee, it's a lot harder on me to be able to see my brand on my baby. So yes, I do the branding, but we actually subbed the logo out to someone else, Daniel Patrick, which
Okay.
he's out of San Francisco. I
Okay.
think. No, yeah, San Francisco.
Nice.
So yeah, after that, I took his work because I just really loved what he does. I really wanted an old tattoo kind of feel with meets kind of clean. So he's an illustrator, so I wanted to complement that, go where he's really good at. So I'm not good at illustration, so I just pushed it toward him.
Nice.
So I take what he does and I brand everything else towards that, and then I run marketing and then
A lot of the content and stuff like that you guys put out.
Instagram,
Yeah.
and then obviously Chris says we buy coffee together and kind of source all that stuff. But yeah.
Okay. Nice. And what hat do you wear, Chase?
Currently, a lot of people relations it just naturally fell into my wheelhouse of being able to be patient with people that we're trying to do sales with, and also connect with them on a certain level, trying to meet them where they are, and being a kind of a jack of all trades. I usually find some sort of common ground when it comes into, no pun intended.
Have you guys heard of that as a coffee shop? Common ground? I think that's a good one. Maybe you guys should do that.
Yeah.
Finding common ground and trying to really I like to try to figure out problems. Not always am great at it, but usually when I meet somebody and they're like, okay, we have this coffee, but we're running into this issue or that, I can be able to meet them where they are, take it back, and we discuss it, and kind of being that bridge between the customers and what we're doing in the shop, because not all of us can do that. And so I'm doing that, and also a lot of build out. We've done certain things where I've this past year I've gotten really into furniture design and like custom building, like desks or things like that. But when it comes to the coffee culture, there's just been this huge wave of like what are the different styles you can brew, and cosmetically, coffee is something that you bring into your home and it becomes a part of your everyday thing. You put coffee on your kitchen counter, and so something that really intrigued me about coffee culture was like that you walk into a coffee shop majority of the time, a lot of these newer coffee shops, and you're really inspired by the atmosphere. And that's what captivated me when it came to our future plans of roasting, developing a coffee culture here in Sarasota, and just really inspiring people through atmosphere. So when it comes to building stuff, we've done a couple like custom like coffee caddies.
Mm-hmm.
We've done
I've got one in my house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just scratching the surface right now of what we could do in the future, but our plans to do our own custom brewers and things that you want to bring into your home and put on your counter, that's kind of some things that we're planning out, and we're excited about that.
So how long has Amity Brothers been around now? How long has the company been?
Just over a year and a half.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, full disclosure, I mean, we've known each other for 10 plus years,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have picked the right roles for each other. And, obviously you know, with the branding, that Parker is the one responsible for pretty much all of O&S's branding.
Mm-hmm.
So you pretty much set the tone for the brand, and you guys are killing it. Seem to be very good.
Thanks,
I have your coffee every morning.
Yeah.
It is the choice of,
I think that's one of the most beautiful things to see with our product, is because our majority of people are drinking coffee every day, and so you really get to build relationships with all sorts of demographic, and because everybody's drinking coffee, so we can put that product in front of them and say, hey, what do you think? And get their feedback, and then also see where they're at with coffee and kind of compare that to where our community is with coffee. So that's been really fun you've been along with us our whole journey. And so we'd give you a sample and be like, what do you think? And you would give us your feedback, and we have a really awesome community to be able to do that with, and a great product, because most people are drinking coffee, and it's great.
No, your demo is very, very wide, which is good. Like most people now, where I'm sure you guys run into hurdles is not so many people want to pay the premium price for coffee. Like most people want to just buy Folgers. That's $5, and coffee lasts you like a month.
Yeah.
Right.
So people, when I tell them how much I spend a month on coffee, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. But I'm like, it's still cheaper than going to Starbucks every day and getting coffee.
Right.
And this is way better product. I mean, yes, you got to make it your own, but the product is significantly better.
Right.
So what have been some of like your biggest hurdles with starting a coffee company, especially in a pretty crowded space?
Yeah.
What kind of has been the thing that differentiates you guys from other coffee companies?
I'm going to let Chris talk about some of the hurdles, because he's taken a lot of the personal weight of some of these hurdles. But I'm just speaking out of one that I've noticed was, I'm trying to think of how to word it. So Chris, you go ahead, and I'll tag on to what you say.
Okay, cool. Well, I mentioned a little bit in the beginning, we had no one to learn from. And so the beginning process was, how do we get into this field that we had a lot of experience in, like years of working in cafes and starting cafes and things like that. But it was a brand new step.
It's such an art to roasting. Like it's not just something like you buy a roaster and you throw some beans in and it's good.
Yeah,
like you have to like learn how to do that.
Yeah, and it's fun. People come into the warehouse and like watch us roast, and they think, oh yeah, you just like stick it in the oven, it's like let it sit for 30 minutes and you're done. Like no, like we're adjusting. It's a whole machine that you are constantly calibrating the whole time.
Yep.
So there was that learning process in the beginning, but also none of us have done real business before, and so we had to learn, how do you properly budget for your future? How do you plan for not just, oh, I have to buy bags next week, versus I know I'm going to have to continually buy bags every week. I'm going to have to do this. And then for me, and this is why we're great as a team, is working with people. I'm not the best with like one-on-one or
That's not true.
people I don't know. I'm not the best. I'm not saying I'm horrible at it. I'm not the best with people, especially if they're just like, we don't click on certain levels. And so for me, that's been hard, in trying to learn how people will act with not just me, but my business, and something that we've put so much of our time and care and cheesy, but like love into.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how it can be squashed by so many people who just don't care because it's not theirs.
Yeah, I think that's one of the toughest hurdles for any sort of entrepreneur, because when you're starting a company from scratch, this is your baby.
Yeah.
So if somebody tells you your product is shit, or I don't really like it, or it doesn't really speak to me, it's like they're calling your kid ugly. You know, like it's such a slap in the face.
Yeah.
But I love like the jumping into the deep end and just going after it. You know, because so many people get lost in the process of like, oh, well, I've got to learn all I can to start a business before I actually do it.
Yeah.
I need to do this, I need to do that. And they kind of put these hurdles in their way before they actually just go for their dream.
Right.
I know you guys, I saw you through the process. You just dove into the deep end and you're figuring it out. That's what we all do. Like nobody has it figured out. Nobody goes into business completely having it all figured out, because every business is unique and different.
Yeah.
So each industry, each business is going to have their own hurdles that they have to deal with, whether it be internal or external.
Right.
Yeah, and
So-
I think something that really helped us in the beginning is we took advantage of a lot of our already existing community. So we had people who were giving us business advice. So our weaknesses have always been covered. In that, like, not just between the three of us, our weaknesses covering each other, but the weaknesses we all have that outside people through business advice and things like that have really just been able to keep us from having stupid mistakes, learning from other people's experience, for sure.
That's why I always push the value of mentorship, you know, and just seeking that out. And can save you a lot of time and money, tell you that much.
And we don't really struggle with admitting that we don't know. That's one thing that we're pretty good at. It's like, I'd rather say I don't know than screw up because of my own pride. But I feel like we've had it pretty easy in some of those areas though, because of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think what I remember now, what I was going to hit first, which you touched on, was that not knowing if the product's good. Well, we didn't know based off of like, well, you'd never done it before, but now we're starting to have the same coffee beans as companies that are much further along and have a huge reach and are making it as a coffee roaster. We're comparing our beans, the same beans that we're getting from the same farm, side by side, and tasting them and being like, holy crap, we're on par. And it's just that reassurance. We're finally getting all this reassurance that you have a great product. And that for us is like huge for us, because we had a little bit of time where we didn't. It's like we liked it, but will other people like it?
Sure.
And our friends and family like it. But now that other people that don't know us are continually coming back and buying more coffee, that's huge. And to be able to compare it next to the big guys, you know, that's big for us. So.
Yeah. And so what are your process like when you actually go to another coffee shop? Like, do you find yourself kind of
tearing the thing apart?
Yeah. Judgment. I always get a coffee and a shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say we do that. We all get different cups, different types of coffee, so we can compare them all. But that started with
Locally, I know what I want now. But when I travel, I try to get a coffee, a shot, and then some sort of like filter, like pour over. Even though a brewer like a normal coffee is a filter, but it just shows the different levels and the quality and the attention to detail through all the three coffees. So espresso is you're able to. I mean, everyone knows what espresso is, but you're able to dial in the actual notes that you're seeing on the bag way more. So it's testing the barista and how like attention to detail they are. So I like to just do that, because if the barista isn't really, that means it kind of pushes it. It's showing you what the company's focus is on. So that's why I get espresso. I know it's a lot of deep to it. But,
No, it's all right. And
then normal batch is just to see how good the coffee just is on a normal batch, like without the precision of someone sitting there brewing it. And then I like to see on a normal like pour over the skill of the barista and that. And it's just kind of the same thing with espresso, like attention to detail. Are they extracting right? Are they over extracting? Is the grind level good?
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
I just pour water on my coffee in the morning.
But I mean, like when you're starting a shop, when you're eventually wanting to start a shop, you take, like, it's just like going to another clothing and buying another brand, like Cut.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Don't say
But,
their
like,
name.
sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
No, they're awesome.
No,
They're
but
great
like other
brand.
companies, it's like I buy coffee from other companies all the time just
Yeah.
so we can try and like just see where we're at.
Yeah.
So yeah, do that everywhere I travel, and then local, I just get what I like,
And I
unless
think-
they say like try this.
Do you guys have like a company that you look up to as far as like what like an aspirational goal?
I think we all have
Like different.
Like a different
our own,
ones?
but I think
Okay.
we have similar ones. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, mine from the beginning has been methodical.
Okay.
I just really, in the beginning, I really liked their brand design, but I like them as people. And
Yeah.
I love their coffee.
Yeah, they're just super nice and helpful compared to a lot of the other coffee shops we reached out to. Even being in the same town and calling them up, and they're like, "Yeah, swing by our roaster, and we'll give you a tour. We'll show you the whole thing, how we do things." And that was gold for us, So that
They're out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Okay. Methodical. How is that? Like, I know for me, it was a pretty hard process, like trying to like learn from other designers, because those are usually pretty well kept secrets.
Yeah.
And then thankfully there were people in my life that I met. There was Eric from Bridge and Burn, which is a great company out of Oregon that really pointed me in the right direction on a lot of things. He hooked me up with the suppliers and manufacturing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's pretty taboo in the retail and design world. How has the coffee world been as far as that goes? Is that kind of a similar?
Locally and I think locally and out of state are two different things. Like locally, it's cutthroat. I mean, because you're reaching the same clientele,
Sure.
And so you're not getting a lot of information. But so I recently went to Atlanta and just did like my own little coffee tour, and everybody there's like, "Oh, let me give you a list of all these shops to go to," and they're just super helpful in that way. And we're inspired by that to bring it back. So for us, that's one of our things. Like, we want to be the roasters that when we see other new roasters coming up, we're going to highlight the farms that we're working with because they need to be talked about. This is good. And, we need to raise that awareness of coffee culture because people don't know. They'll buy the Folgers. They don't.
So is that a taboo thing to do? Is tell where you're getting your beans from? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like giving away your supplier.
Sure.
But doing that, you're constantly building your relationship with the farm that you're working with. Giving them a lot of awareness keeps them healthy, keeps them being able to supply what they're supplying, and it shows we don't have to be so stuck up. So
Right.
If the farm makes money, you're going to be able to get good coffee.
Right.
You're all
It's a
going to be able.
win-win.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's with our Honduras coffee right now. We're trying to referral tons of our Honduras coffee out just to different roasters all around the world, and just to share it because it's so good. It's like literally one of our favorite, like my favorite coffee I've ever had. And actually, Methodical is the one that actually bought the same coffee. It's from the same farm and everything.
Yeah.
So that's the one we tested. But yeah, so just sharing that because the better they do, the more tech they're able to do on their farm, meaning that they're able to. We just actually met via Zoom the other day. They're actually building their own water reserve because they know that they're going to be getting droughts in the next 10 years. So that way they're going to be able to actually take water and be able to actually have the farm be sustainable. They have honey on the farm so that way that like the bees can pollinate the coffee so that way that you can get a little more sweetness out of it. They raise their own cattle. They do all these things so that the farm can actually stay sustainable and pay people. And that's why we pay more for green. That's why we charge more for roasted coffee.
Right.
And it's crazy because it's like pretty much the majority of the coffee's life is done over from on the farm's end, and then we take all the credit.
Right.
So it's like trying to move the culture to someone else and share the farm because that's like 80% of the coffee's life is there. I mean, yes, we get to reap the benefits of roasting it and drinking it, but we only do so much. We just do a little bit of it, just we just toast it. But yeah, so it's just showing the hard work and what they do is, I think, what will set us apart. And yeah, it's cool.
That's awesome. So, oh gosh, I just had a question. Oh, it seems like within the last like 5 to 10 years, there's kind of been this like coffee renaissance revelation type thing, because for the longest time it was like, Starbucks is the shit. Like that's the best coffee you can get. And now it's like you guys have you guys have spoiled me, because now I go to Starbucks and I'm like, I can barely drink it because their coffee's just not as good as yours or a lot of these small batch roasters. What kind of paved the way for that? Like what do you guys think as far as like how did this coffee almost renaissance happen?
Yeah, there's a few different steps that got us where we are.
Us or coffee?
Coffee in general.
Coffee, like
Chris
this
and I have
coffee
talked about
culture
this.
in general, it seems to have exploded over the last like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can go if you want to. You can.
No, you take it. I'll go after.
I would say that Starbucks is actually the one that we should be thanking. They actually I'd say that they break them up in waves. So right now we're in third wave coffee, but first wave coffee is Folgers, Dunkin', like old canned coffee that you'd see like your grandparents buying, just like
Maxwell House or something.
Get it and roast it as dark as you can and throw it in a cup. That's all. That's first wave. And then second wave, I would put Starbucks on there, maybe Caribou Coffee if you're out of state kind of guys. And then third wave, but I would say the difference between first and second is that you're able to come in and not just be able to have this cup of coffee for energy and just to go on with your day. It's able to come and sit down, have a meeting, have a connection. This is what Starbucks, this is second wave.
Right.
Have a connection with someone, be able to work, grind, create things over the table over a cup of coffee. And that's what a beautiful thing I think was pinnacle that Starbucks did for our generation now and what has happened over the next last 10 years.
They used to say what it was, they wanted to create an extension of their home. It's like the coffee shop be like their living room.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why it's all comfortable. The lighting's dim, the comfy couches and all that stuff. So they actually paved the way. And then taking it one step further is actually, I mean, you want to take the third wave?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because I think I have a little different point in that it's not just a. I didn't know which part you were going to hit, but the coffee waves are separated with a social and a physical change within coffee.
Well, yeah.
And so I
was going to get into grading, but
and so with back in World War II, it's either one or two, one of the world wars, when like the soldiers were packed with coffee to go out because they had no way to try to sustain energy and all the food pyramid change and everything else, whatever. There's a lot that went on. They came back, and that's what they had. They had this coffee that they thought at the time, if you roasted it dark, the oils would protect the bean and keep the caffeine in there. It didn't. The oil actually goes rancid, and it's not great for the beans. But they got used to this taste, and that's when they came back. That's when you had Folgers and Maxwell House and these companies who, after the war, found a market that was suddenly open. You had all these people coming back who drank coffee all the time. And then Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks was pivotal in how they changed the philosophy of coffee. And as much crap as we sometimes give Starbucks for not being good coffee, they were better coffee.
I remember drinking coffee, or they've been like, you
used to love Starbucks. I knew you when you liked Starbucks.
Chris worked at Starbucks.
And so they did bring another step forward within coffee. And they brought, so they were one of the people who started like planting. They weren't the first, obviously, but they planted trees and helped give back to communities.
They actually shined a light on farms too.
Yeah, and that's what they started that.
Yeah.
And then third wave is like, then you get into, it's not just Ethiopian coffee, but it's a region within Ethiopia. It's Yirgacheffe. And then there's actually, I would still argue that fourth wave coffee is where things are at the pinnacle of edge of becoming fourth wave coffee. Yeah, and that's where we're at.
New wave.
Yeah.
And that's I think something
explain
that will be
third wave a little bit too. Because third wave
sorry, we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, explain third wave a little bit.
Sorry. So I touched on a little bit with like, now we're into the regions of coffee. You get into why does Yirgacheffe taste different than Aguji coffee? And
are those both from Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you get into elevations in land mass. And so when you're high elevation, the plant has to go through less process to create energy. And so it has more sugar stored up in the plant. Yes, not vice versa. And so they have different tastes, and the soils are different in all these different regions. And you start learning why coffee tastes the way it does. But then also the social aspect is what Starbucks brought about with like planting trees and bringing knowledge to where you're getting your coffee from. But they, as Ryan mentioned, had the let's make it your coffee at home. It's a connection. Third Wave took it the next step. Like now you know you're a barista. Now you go there and you sit there and like we go to coffee shops and people are there. It's like all day. And it's more integrated into your life. You'll go somewhere, we'll drive 15, 30 minutes to go to a good coffee shop, even though it's out of the way, just because that's where we want to go.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything that you were thinking about?
I love the detail that you put into each region that you get coffee from. The recipe's not the same. We don't just take random coffees, throw it in, and do the same thing over and over again. Each coffee has its own recipe that we dial in because we're trying to pull out unique flavors that the soil from that area or the environment of that area is putting into that bean. We can highlight those flavors by how we approach roasting. It's not just roast it and toast it. It's roast it and try to get a certain flavor. Our Honduras, we were really aiming for banana bread flavor.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
It was super unique, and it's like you smell it as you're making your coffee, and it's just like overwhelming your senses because it's like, wow, I just thought coffee smelled like this burnt ashtray,
right?
But now, like when I first started drinking, I was later in the game for coffee. But these guys have really, really caught me up to speed, and now it's like a love. It's a lifestyle that I live, and so I used to I put cream, sugar, whatever. I'd go to Waffle House and get a cup of coffee and be like, this is gross, but I'm going to drink it. And but now I'm like, black coffee, and I can drink it, and I want to drink it.
Right.
And that's how I want it, because now I'm starting to, I guess it's like a fine wine. I'm like, oh man, I taste this. And so
there's notes of banana bread.
Yeah, true. But I couldn't do that for a while. Sure. I could drink nice coffee and not really know what they're talking about, and now I'm right up there because they're teaching me what to look for, and I think that's the beauty of Third Wave Coffee, is that you're learning more about coffee than we've ever known before, and starting to appreciate more what goes into the bean, what goes into the farm, what goes into the flavor of each unique area.
I think that's sorry. I'm just going to back up what you're saying. I think that's true. Before, it was like the baristas and the sourcers who'd go out to the farms and pick the beans that knew these nuances of coffee. But with Third Wave, it's really pushed it into the layman's hands of this is coffee. And so now more and more people are aware and know about it. And that's why Fourth Wave leads into varietals of coffee, the different types of strain that the bean
like
is.
the strain,
Yeah.
Dang, just like really getting into the weeds of it then.
Yeah. And then you learn like the
weeds. Strains.
I don't get it.
I'm lost.
Do you have that jaw thing?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think production and the industry really changed the game too, because now you can get a Chemex very easily. You can get a whole bunch of different styles of brewing, and it's easier to get it now than it used to be back in Folger's days. You can get a home espresso machine. You can get good quality stuff now, and people are becoming their own baristas. But yet they will buy crappy beans and be like, well, why doesn't it taste like these shops that I go to? What's the missing link?
Sure.
But
Amity Brothers is the missing link.
I think what to tie back on what you were saying earlier is like why in the last 10 to 5 years, but I think it's like everyone's been paying attention to what they've been putting in their body. And that's why I think this coffee is getting more popular, is because people want to know what kind of supplements am I taking, what vitamins am I taking, what.
So you're just talking about like more health conscious, like I want to know what I'm putting into my body.
Why am I spending $18 on a bag of coffee that's not even a pound? Like,
$18? Is that what I spend on my coffee?
Yeah.
Dang.
You get a little discount because it's subscription.
I'm just joking. It's worth every penny.
But
But you don't have to buy milk and sugar.
That's it. You know, it's just black. That's it.
No, but yeah, so just caring what people are putting in their body, and I think that's what's kind of like where is this coming from? Why am I drinking this? Why am I drinking this stuff that I've been drinking for years that doesn't really taste that good?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I think anybody can appreciate people that care a lot about their craft.
Yeah.
And people are going to see that through your product. Like one of the biggest compliments I get with O&S is, you know, I could tell that you meticulously designed and work on this product, and I'm sure the same thing for you guys. Like you guys have such a passion for it that it just comes through your product. I was having a conversation with a couple guys today that were asking me about clothing, and they have this idea that they want to start a clothing brand and all this kind of stuff. So they were just kind of picking my brain, and one of the things that they were kind of wrestling with is like, well, we know we want to create a really good brand, but we're not sure how about the product. And they're like, what's more important, the brand or the product? I'm like, both.
Yeah.
Both are they're equally important. The brand is what's going to get people in the door. Mm-hmm. You have to have a good brand. You have to be very clear and precise with what your branding is, what it says, that it's easily connected. Mm-hmm. People can connect to it easily. Right. But then the product has to be really good. Yeah. Because if the brand is what gets them in the door, the product being good is what's going to keep them around. Right. Mm-hmm. So both are very important. And so the only way to get that good product is to care about your craft. Exactly. That's it. That's the only way to do it. Yeah. So, you know, that it's just shines through. Obviously your passion is coffee. Obviously your passion is making the best roast that you possibly can. Right. So you guys were just in Portland. Yeah. 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Were you like exploring coffee shops out there?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We took advantage of all the shops that were open. And some of the companies down.
How was Portland?
Portland was great.
They doing okay?
Well, they have low numbers over there.
Is that where Chop is? Or was? Chop Chaz?
Chop Chaz.
The autonomous zone where they like set up a barricade and...
They have a lot of riots right now.
Is that a food restaurant? Chop?
Chop.
That sounds good.
Sounds pretty good. No, Chaz.
Chop
or Chaz. They changed the name. I can't remember which one they landed on. It was an autonomous zone in the middle of... Was it Portland?
I mean, I don't know.
Do you know?
It could be.
Look that shit up, Jamie. Yeah. Gosh, I think
it was crazy driving around because they have a lot of homeless.
It was Seattle. Never mind.
Oh. It's right next door.
Is it? Yeah. Is it pretty close? Yeah.
It's probably both. But no, they have a lot of riots. So that's what we heard on the way. So the news says it's like a war zone. Yeah. And so what we experienced over there was a lot of homeless. So a lot of tents everywhere, a lot of tagging. There was graffiti on a lot of stores. It almost looked like from us Floridians, like a hurricane was coming because everybody had boards over there. It was either it was like boards over their windows and signs, Black Lives Matter, because it's a huge movement there, and they're a really passionate community. But with a passionate community is a very aggressive community. Sure. I mean, and that's what we experienced. But all in all, it was a great trip. Mm-hmm. They were really mask aware, I guess.
That's kind of nice.
And it made us feel in some ways like, okay, they do care about passing on germs and stuff like that. So it felt safe in that way, but a lot of shops were closed, but we got to go to a bunch and really inspired by just the coffee culture there. We actually have a lot of friends there that we've met through Instagram. Mm-hmm. One of our photographers that takes product photos for us, he lives there. We got to meet up with him and just talk coffee with him. Another roaster that we've met along the way, and we do like some trades for and
giveaways.
Yeah, and it just changed information, things we're learning, things he's learning, and you know, and he pats us on the back, you know, and that reassurance is awesome for us, and it was cool. CC Coffee is another one I got to see. I love motorcycles, and they're a coffee motorcycle shop.
Oh, nice.
And they've been around for a long time.
They like sell motorcycles?
They sell motorcycle gear, and I think they host like races up there near Portland. And I actually wore this hat here, thinking nobody really would know it over here, and somebody pointed out off the side of the road, oh man, I used to be a motorcycle racer. And but it's cool because they really kind of zoned in on that culture within coffee, and they're doing really well. And that was inspiring to be like, that's them and they're doing it. And we just got to take it in, drink as much coffee as possible, and
so caffeinated
the whole time.
Yeah, I think the worst part of coffee tours is it doesn't really help the digestive system. So about 12 o'clock, you're like,
"What do you mean?"
Got the poops.
Got the poops. So I'm like, it's coffee time. All right, yeah.
Yeah, you can pretty much set your watch to it, huh?
Yeah. But no, it was fun. It was a great trip.
Yeah. Great food.
We could see definitely that. That's a goal for us, is to be and create that kind of culture where we're at. And
I think, I mean, even locally, I think the coffee scene has just exploded in the last few years here, and even in our little town of Sarasota.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally 2 coffee shops right next to each other that are competing, and they both are. They make it. They both make it. So
yeah, it's bizarre.
But I mean, it's an exciting time. I think you guys are getting into it really, really nicely, and that's where it's like being able to rely on other companies to kind of collaborate with.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the most beautiful part about your industry.
Yeah.
You know, I wish we had a little bit more of that in the retail side. It's definitely been harder to kind of collaborate with other clothing brands. But I'm just trying to, you know, when people ask me like, how do I start a clothing brand? Like, I'm the first person to help. I think that like that mentality of just all tides ride together, all boats ride together. Like there's room for all of us, you know, and it's just the reality of the situation. Like,
we learn a lot from even this, you know, because you're further along in a company than we are. And so we even learn, like Ryan had brought up, and I think it was pretty heavily inspired by even your unboxing experience of when you order clothing from you. You put a lot of detail into the way you unbox.
I did.
he designed it.
Yeah.
And we just had money to buy it. We don't have money to buy it.
So we designed it together.
You know, and so we work in these phases, and we're like, okay, where do we improve? And that was one of the things that was on this past, you know, month or so, is like, okay, you know, because we've put a lot of our own money into the company to get it to where we're at.
Sure.
And so we're at this growing spot of like, okay, now we're getting investors. Now we're looking at, okay, what's the next step? And even learning from unboxing your stuff is like, there's an experience in that. And there's a lot of that in coffee culture too. You know, there's certain, I forget what's the one that you really like in coffee shop, they're unboxing.
Well, Onyx does a great job.
Yeah. And so we'll order things and just to see what it's like.
Right.
And so yeah, that's our next kind of thing that we're tackling, is our unboxing experience. You know, you spend $18 on a thing of coffee, you don't want it to show up in like a FedEx, you know,
bag.
Well, that was my mentality when I was developing how we were going to ship the boxes and all of that. And it's still a refining process. It's something I'm always thinking about, because I'll get pictures from people and, you know, like, oh, I just got my O&S box, and it's like torn to shit. So I'm just like, all right, so how do I fix that? How do I make this experience better? I think that's where a lot of online brands miss the mark, as far as, you know, you don't have a physical store for somebody to come in and experience your brand. So the way that they experience your brand is through your website. And then once they order, how easy that process is. And then once they receive their package, what does that brand experience look like? So I want to make sure that people from every step of the way have a good experience. The website is well branded and looks good. It looks refined, and it's an easy ordering process. But then once they get the product, there's an experience to unboxing it. And you can tell that there's
quality.
Yeah, like I think we talked about it like when we were designing the box. It was like, man, if they put this much time and energy into refining the box and opening experience, how much time and energy do they put into the product?
Right.
And I think those little things, whether it's conscious or subconscious, I think the customer will find value in that, and they'll be like, wow, this is amazing. Anything that goes over and above what they think they're going to get.
Expectation. Yeah.
Exactly. It's always a win.
Yep.
Because again, like I said, we don't have a physical store for somebody to come in and experience our brands. So that's the only way we can create those touch points to where people will be like, man, I want to experience this again, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they love the product.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I got a shirt from you. And it was I think it was your first batch of shirts that you put out. Yeah, your first collection. And I remember getting the box. And there's 2 boxes that I felt really bad eventually of throwing away. One was my Mac computer, and second was the Oak and Stone box.
That was my goal.
That was it. That's
so
it.
Pretty. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man.
I keep all my Apple boxes.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's true. It's hard to throw away.
It's hard to throw away. Man.
But that's something that you're constantly thinking about. You know, it's just the customer experience. Like, what are the things that I can make better for the customer to experience the brand?
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, it sounds like it's part of your nature as far as what you guys, the meticulous nature of your brand. And that's how I try to operate O&S as well. Is, you know, I want people to never think like, man, why did I pay so much for this clothing, or why did I pay so much for this coffee? I want them to feel like I got my value. Like this is amazing stuff. I think it's just important. You got to just take a lot of pride into your product.
Yeah, we try.
And bettering what we have now and take it into the next step. Like shipping was a huge thing when we first started.
Welcome to the club. Everybody
didn't
deals
know
with
that.
shipping issues. I could have told you that.
We wouldn't have started. That's been a learning process.
Sure.
Even up until now, it's like we're still trying to figure out ways to save that $1 because we can look at our back end and see people put stuff in their cart, but maybe they got to the point where shipping showed up and they're like, I don't want to do that.
It holds people up all the time. For
so
sure.
that's been a big thing. And even when we go and talk to the main companies we're using, it's like there's not so much information they're giving, because
they don't have it figured out.
Well, it's because you have to hit a certain margin of sending out certain things to drop your price down, but you only have to be a bigger company to have those orders.
It's a
just
game.
like
It's a game we're playing. But luckily, every month we're finding something new, and hopefully as we chisel this thing down and build sales, that reflects in our product as well. But yeah,
you guys have a good model too with the subscription base. That's more of that residual repeating customer, which I really, really love and hope to model one day with O&S is that subscription model base. I don't have enough inventory as far as a collection of products to actually be able to do that yet.
I have an idea.
What's the idea?
That would be your collab with other companies. Do a subscription apparel box. So you get like pants, you get like an overshirt, or you get like a watch, movement,
a
or
bag
coffee.
of coffee.
You do boxes for looks, different looks.
I like that. It's a great idea.
You can pay me. Send me the bill.
I'll send you the bill.
Or no, send me the check. It's late. I had a full day of work.
This is an IOU, sir.
Yeah.
This is better than cash. No, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
That's why I keep you around.
Yeah, man. Sorry, what were we talking about?
So what is next on your journey? Like, I mean, you have the coffee that you're refining every day. Where do you see Amity going as far as like, what are your larger goals as far as?
We just talked about this.
Yeah.
Chris, what are our larger goals?
Businessman, Tygon.
You did it. Good, you remember?
Did I say it right?
Tygon Chris.
Bean Master Tygon.
Bean Master Tygon Chris.
No.
He's like, no.
I like Master Beaner a lot.
Yeah.
No, I can't say
Bro,
that.
you can't say that. I got to edit that out now.
Oh,
And
man.
he's one-
Don't you dare. I got to edit this whole thing out now.
Oh, gosh.
God, the woke crowd is going to be pissed.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Cool. Okay. Cut.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So, as wanting to grow our business, I remember we talked about like planning ahead in the future. So we want to get a bigger roaster. That's our next step. So we can. There's a lot of the market that we can't reach because of the size of the equipment we have and where we're at in a business setting. We're a big business in the beginning stages, so we just have to get to the next step. You might know where I learned that saying from, but yeah. So in 5 years, like, we want a cafe. We want a brick and mortar store. We want our product to be in more people's hands, as in like cafes or in stores where people can see it, not just online.
Yeah. That seems like a natural next step for any coffee company, right? Is to open a cafe and have a coffee shop. And
Yeah. I mean, your profits are, you're not buying
you're
other people's
roasting.
coffee.
Yeah,
doing
you're
your
roasting
own,
your-
so
your own
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. That makes sense.
We're shopping around for investment to really provide a lot of that backing for the next steps.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we're going to talk about, like
Well,
where
no,
we're wanting to go.
Well, I mean,
Just air it all
goal
out.
would be like more marketing, like email marketing, kind of like
Okay.
you have like you were talking about your unboxing, like having your store be your first thing and having it take you through this journey. But it's like, well, what's making them come back? And
Sure.
you have to like nurture them through this email campaign. So we're working on marketing and emailing, and then doing more of the creating culture of the side of our company is creating more content, as in podcasts, little mini vlogs, recipes.
I'm telling you,
Education.
Do the thing we talked about. You need to go and like.
me.
You don't remember?
You can share it.
We
No,
had
I remember.
Okay. No, we talked a couple of weeks ago. I think you guys should go and you two you three are extremely funny together.
Yeah.
So I think are you shaking your head over there, Tygon? But doing some sort of vlog style, refined video of where you're going around and interviewing different coffee shop owners and stuff like that, and doing like getting their techniques.
Like a Worth It coffee edition.
I don't know what Worth It is.
I don't know what Worth It is either.
Yeah.
You guys don't watch YouTube?
I mean, I do.
I heard
a crazy.
YouTube. My phone can tell me that.
I heard a crazy thing on Rogan the other day. Jamie said that there's 500 hours a minute
uploaded.
uploaded to YouTube every day.
I believe it.
500 hours.
Surprise me.
I believe it.
Isn't that crazy?
Every minute?
Every minute.
No, I don't believe it.
More than people could watch.
No. You couldn't
more.
there would be multiple lifetimes, even if you just sat in front of
That's
YouTube.
crazy, man.
And then it's just always being uploaded.
Yeah.
But a lot of those things that you talked about for our goals, I think all those point to one of our goals being returning customers.
Yeah.
That was one thing we looked at. We're like, we have 400 something, 500 something customers that we've had, but how a small percentage of them are returning customers. So we have this large base that we're not pulling from. And so we're trying to get back
So
into
that's a big thing for any company is, it costs you 10 times more to acquire new customers than existing customers. So if you're I'm so proud of you guys, because those are analytics that a lot of people miss, as far as like not only just looking for the new customers, but also returning customers. It's like people ignore that, but that's where you should be trying to get the most percentage.
It's easier to convince them to come back because they've already bought it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they've already experienced it. So
And if your
dissecting
experience is good, then
Mhm.
they're going to want you to come back.
Yeah. And it doesn't surprise me that you're like looking into that like from an analytical standpoint, because Chris is like one of the smartest guys I know.
Yeah.
So
And Joel at Notion's been a huge help in figuring some of that stuff out.
Who's Joel?
Yeah.
Joel, I work for a company, a website and marketing company. So he's the owner, and I work under that. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he's been a huge help in trying to figure out like marketing and our clients, and trying to understand them and what reaches them and how do we want to keep them coming back to.
What is your biggest hurdle with acquiring new customers?
I think right now we honestly haven't paid any ads. We're only strictly on Instagram and Facebook and word of mouth and Google, just organically.
Yeah. And Ryan and I both working in digital marketing at some point, we have neglected that just because we've been so good at getting by with what we did.
Yeah.
Right.
And now we're at the point where like that's the next step. That's really something that's going to propel us into new territories.
Well, I think from a marketing standpoint, and you guys can talk, you can, especially because you work for a marketing company, like I think there's a balance between organic and actual paid.
Oh, yeah.
So like there's that one meme that I saw with Jim Halpert that, he has the two whiteboards and it's like one says, if your ad
What?
Yeah,
you guys hear that?
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
bass
I think
outside.
It scared me. I thought it was like an alien apocalypse. But there was one that he's like, if your ad interrupts my video, it makes me hate your product even more.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like people are like so turned off by ads now, but you also want to like share your product. So like one of the best things for me has been through influencer marketing and just partnering with different influencers and stuff like that. So O&S does very little like paid advertising. Like all of our advertising has been word of mouth. What would be the natural next step or reason to go to, are you talking about doing more of like an SEO route? Like what is your...
Well, that we haven't done much of any SEO.
Yeah.
We have very minimal.
So I guess we have done the influencer
but that would be,
route, though.
Yeah, we haven't hit it hard.
Right.
I mean, as we know how much you should be doing, we don't follow that, our own advice.
Right. Yeah. Well, it just gets money too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so there's plenty of things that play into it. But I think something that will help is one of our other goals, and we did it in the beginning, and then we got busy, and then COVID happened. But as part of our creating, we provide coffee and we create culture. So in the beginning, I said we sell like a family. We sell a culture.
Yeah.
We did Amity takeovers where we go out and we.
I went to one of those. I played music in one of those.
Yeah. So part of being a wholesaler of Amity is you get put into the pot of places we'll go and do a takeover. Where we come in after hours or we come during hours, however you want to run it, and we provide music. I mean, between all of us, we can put together some form of music, I think. And then we do coffee. We provide all entertainment, things like that. And there's usually some nonprofit or something that gets money from that as well.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, the first time we did it, it was 4 hours long. It was packed the whole time.
Yeah, I remember.
So we are something that Chase says is we're like the Tito's of coffee. So we're an event company that serves coffee, and that's part of the company that hasn't been fully delved into, and that's something else we're going to get back
COVID was
into.
a good speed bump on that whole event thing, because that was one of the big things we wanted to really dive into. And as places where we were starting to get involved in more flea markets and more other events that are already happening, a lot of that shut down. So right now we've been focusing on, roasting and planning and doing everything from home base, instead of out where we want to be. And so I'm glad to see things are starting to clear up, because that opens the door for us to, we just had somebody write, and, we'll have to talk about it as a group, but hey, we're doing this office party and it's going to be like 17 people, and we want to do some sort of music and coffee. What would you guys do? And that's the kind of things that we want to see as companies are starting to come back in and bring their groups together. And we'd love to define what office coffee tastes like, that's another thing, because we're surrounded by businesses and we have friends that own companies, and it's like they're just normally used to putting Keurig in the machine, maybe not Oak and Stone, but that's a whole nother market that's drinking coffee every single day.
Sure.
And hopefully we can help redefine that, so that'd be fun.
It's just a takeover. I like it. I like the name Takeover. Right? That's cool, because you guys, Takeover, like the place I did was like a restaurant that you guys took over.
Yeah.
We have something similar to that in like clothing retails, like pop-up shops and stuff like that. So like for online brands that want to have people come and experience their brand in a unique way and try things on.
That'd be fun for us.
I know I need to do it. I need to do it.
New York.
But you're not supposed to have large gatherings.
Not right now.
No, I definitely I had an idea to do a pop-up shop either in Tampa or Orlando or Miami, one of
Miami
three,
would be cool.
and just have some of the O&S athletes come and do autograph signings and stuff like that, and then have some of the inventory there to sell. And
Coffee.
I mean, we can serve coffee. Yeah, that's an easy one.
that's obviously going to happen. So
Nitro cold brew.
get people hyped up on caffeine, and they'll just buy a bunch of shit.
Oh
That'll
yeah.
be great. Well, that's awesome. So we let's get into some of the details for the giveaway.
Yes.
Do you have the detail? I think I got it somewhere.
Someone has them in the notes section of their phone.
I think it's Ryan.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much, we are giving 2 months free of
Twice a month.
Yeah, bi-weekly subscription coffee.
Okay.
Bi-monthly.
Bi-monthly.
They get two bags a month,
A month.
for 2 months.
Yeah, bi-weekly. Right?
No, that's twice a week.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Chris is here.
Yeah. I want you guys to have as much coffee as you want.
2 bags a
14
week.
bags of coffee.
All right. Let's see. I have so much notes. And then you're giving away, what you want to tell them?
We're going to do a $100 O&S gift card.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to win our own?
No.
Damn.
No. Neither of you can actually win your own bag of coffee.
Well, I just want the Oak and Stone gift card.
I got my mask. I got my
Look
Oak
at
and Stone
that.
mask.
Why don't you try it on for the people? We'll
Okay.
do a live try on. I hope it fits.
I do have an.
I'm gonna cut to you, Ricardo, and just let it sit there until he has it on. We'll see.
I want to see if you can figure out this bag here.
Oh, maybe
nice.
you emailed it. Oh, no, it's in a Google Doc.
That's right.
Did
I
you
think
put-
that's pretty much the details.
They say I have a pretty
It's
athletic jawline.
It is pretty athletic.
That's
No,
nice.
mine.
Put it on.
You like it?
Yeah. No, it's great.
Can't hear.
You
what
like my
were saying.
jawline?
Oh, hell yeah.
You like that?
That looks so good.
Yeah.
That is nice.
I think you should just leave it on. You know what you look like? You look like Shredder
Thank you.
from Teenage
Shredder.
Ninja.
I'll take it.
I'm going to do that as the next ad. If
Alright.
you want to look like Shredder with your mask on.
Guys,
Can
did
I
we grow
be
up
the-
in the? Sorry.
Can I be the model?
No. So anyway,
Can I be a
about the
teenage-
details.
Can I be a turtle? I still can't find it, man.
Did we grow up in the best culture, like the best generation?
I think so.
Like we had
I
the
think,
best cartoons.
I think so.
We
I mean,
had-
I think it's hard to deny. You know.
Giveaway details.
You spelled
Okay.
Oak and Stone clothing wrong.
Damn it, that's on me. That's on Parker. All right, here it is.
That is one of the joys that I have working with Parker is that I have to be the spell checker.
Yeah, I'm
which
terrible
means
at
my
spelling.
wife has to check all of the spelling because I'm
Nice.
terrible at that.
All right, so the giveaway dates start September 18th at 9 a.m. and then it goes to September 20th and it closes at 12 p.m. And then we'll pick a winner at 9 a.m. on Monday, the 21st.
It's 12 a.m. I believe. Midnight is right.
Yeah. Did I say a.m.?
P.m.
Oh yeah, a.m. Sorry. Yeah. See you guys. Spell check.
So how do they enter into the contest?
Yeah, so what they'll do is that's on my other doc is they'll tag as many friends as they'd like.
More tags.
More tags equal more entries, and then if you post a story of the post, you will get an additional 10 entries to your entry.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
that's what it'll
So
do.
many
And
stories.
whose story or whose post will it be on? Whose
We'll
Instagram?
do it under both.
Yeah, we'll post it on both, but
Okay.
yeah, and we'll just take both accounts.
Exactly. We'll just
Yep.
compile both.
I'm excited.
It's going to be good.
I'm
It's-
really pumped. That's in 8 days, so get ready.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Can you go over those dates one more time?
Yes, starts the 18th,
What
and
day
then
is that?
Friday, and it ends the 20th at 12 a.m. EST. People,
Just do Sunday at midnight.
Yeah, so it goes Friday to Sunday.
Sunday at midnight. This is getting confusing now. People are going to be like, shit. So is it Sunday, like at 12 a.m., like from Saturday to Sunday? Like when does 12 a.m. start?
just follow both accounts and you'll see.
Unbelievable.
And then we'll pick the winner on the Monday morning
Got
at 9 a.m. EST.
EST. Oh, Eastern Standard Time.
9 a.m. est.
Est.
It's
Est.
the most a.m.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, that's going to be fun. It's
I'm
going to
pumped.
be a good time. We've
Yeah.
never done a crossover giveaway with a coffee company before, so
Have you
haven't
ever
do-
done a giveaway?
yes.
You have?
2,
Oh.
1.
Gave
Two.
me a shirt one time.
I mean, I get all my stuff.
We trade. No, well,
Sorry.
take it easy. No, he doesn't.
I built your.
You built my desk.
Yeah, it was a good. That was a good trade.
That was a great trade.
Trade for trade.
Trade for trade. I think I gave you some cash too, though.
I don't know. We'll have to talk out details.
It was a good
Just
desk.
kidding. It was.
It was a good desk.
Yeah.
So piggybacking off of what you said, just to throw a roll of the dice into the conversation, you said we grew up in the best generation for
Yeah.
cartoons
Mhm.
or just shows in general.
Yeah.
So name like one of your favorite childhood shows.
So many.
Yeah, I was like, right now it's Avatar just because I've been so hard on the Avatar.
Like the
kick.
Blue People movie?
No, the
Last
Last
Airbender.
Bald boy.
Airbender.
Bald
But
guy.
for
boy.
like cartoons as like a kid,
Aang.
like Dragon Ball Z was the best. And then
I think we came from two different generations. I just realized you guys are younger than I am.
Sailor Moon.
not by much.
Powerpuff Girls.
Right, let's end it there.
Okay, then you start it. You start it.
Well, what era are we talking? Like kid?
Yeah,
Like
'cause
12?
there's a
Yeah.
wide-
Yeah.
Kid
How
or
old are
12?
you?
I'm 20. I'm almost 29.
Okay, and then
29.
30.
okay, so yeah, we're all in the same age.
Yeah. So I'm asking you, what
What shows were you guys fucking
What-
watching?
That's what we're
I didn't-
asking you.
Like
When?
realistically, like Rugrats, SpongeBob,
Yeah.
Okay.
Rocco's Modern Life,
Of course,
Street,
that's-
Street Sharks.
Doug, Funny. What was the
Yeah, just Doug.
Doug? Yeah,
Just
Doug.
Doug.
Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold, Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah.
What you just called me?
That's what he says. Get out of my laboratory.
Yeah.
Dee Dee, I think it was.
Yeah, Dee Dee,
Yeah.
get out of my
Yeah.
laboratory.
Oh, dang.
I always get crap for it, but I watched Simpsons growing up.
I never.
I wasn't allowed.
I know. That's what
Yeah.
It was a great show, though.
Your mom's a wild one.
I know. She's not going to like hearing
She
that.
didn't care. You're the youngest.
Well, yeah. It was that and Sailor Moon before. Everybody else had cool cartoons to watch. I had Sailor Moon.
Oh, what was the one with the rings? The guy
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
I don't know that one.
That's a little one of my brothers, but I watched it from.
You watched on the tail
Did you
end.
guys
Yeah, yeah.
actually watch Cat Dog?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a
Cat
great
Dog was
one.
my
Yeah,
jam.
and Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch that one.
Mm.
I was more. I didn't have like Cartoon Network. I don't think.
Oh, that's where a lot of those were from.
Yeah, I was more Nickelodeon, Disney
What about
Channel.
Kids
Yeah.
WB?
So like
That was there was the Jackie Chan one.
Maniacs.
Oh, Jackie
Animaniacs.
Chan. Or Transformers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did anyone else watch Street Sharks?
Oh yeah,
No.
heck yes.
So he's like,
I even had
these
the
guys who
toys.
turned me too. Oh,
Yeah.
So it's like a ripoff of Ninja Turtles.
they were around the same time.
Kinda. Yeah, but
Okay.
definitely rip off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sharks
Wild
that live-
Thornberries.
Oh, I forgot about that
That's a
show.
good
That
one.
is a great one.
Yeah.
What is it? Not Team. What was it? Rocket.
Oh yeah.
Team Rocket.
Oh
Team
yes.
Rocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was it.
It wasn't
No,
Team Rocket.
it wasn't
No.
Team Rocket. That's Pokemon.
No. What was it?
Rocket Power.
Yeah.
Rocket Power. What a great one.
That one made me think I could always skateboard or surf.
They made
or
it look
anything.
so easy.
They made it look so easy.
They had those big
lot
ass
of-
heads and they just
Weird
skateboard.
squinty eyes.
Yeah, it was just weird.
What were some Disney ones? I didn't have Disney
Lizzie
till I was older.
McGuire.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
Obviously, Lizzie McGuire. We all had crushes on her too.
Yeah. Why not?
I was more into a lot of like the Disney original movies that they had. You guys like
Name some.
Phantom of the Megaplex? Remember
No.
that one?
No.
I did Duck the
Johnny Tsunami.
DuckTales.
Johnny
DuckTales.
Tsunami.
You remember that one?
That was a
No.
good one. There's a
Was Halloween Town in Disney? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Halloween Town.
I did watch. And there's like 3 of them.
Yeah. I don't think I got. Yeah, I think that was past my time.
No.
Yeah.
one of our friends in the coffee world. He's pretty much his branding is around The Simpsons. So that he like throws in stickers.
Yeah, it's all
and
stickers.
Oh, no
all this
way.
stuff. That's
Yeah.
like part of.
How does he
his-
not get in trouble with like copyright stuff?
I honestly think that Simpsons is open grab.
They're just like they don't care.
They don't
They
care.
won't prosecute. Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make a
I don't know
Simpson
why, but
shirt
yeah.
or something.
You could.
Yeah, like a jacked Bart Simpson or something.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be
That'd be pretty cool, right?
Jack
Actually, I think
Homer.
he has. I think there's an image of him. I think there's an episode where he's like all
He
jacked.
gets all jacked.
I
Well,
know
there's one where he gets
Homer-
really, really fat too.
Homer,
Yeah.
I've seen the one where Homer gets all his fat like sucked in the back, and he has like clips holding his fat, but in the front he's like all strong.
What I could do is I'd do that picture in the front, and then on the back,
Yes, on the back.
just like all of the clips. I think that's a great idea.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Write that down.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a good brainstorming.
I think that's. I feel really good about it. Well, let's wrap this one up. It's been about an hour. So
Fine.
it's been great to have you guys on the O&S podcast. I
Yeah.
think this is the most I've ever laughed on one. So
Oh, man.
we'll definitely have you
Well,
back.
They told me not to move, so I feel very chained down.
They
Well,
just
you
our
just
next
moved.
one,
They
I
told me
know.
I was fine.
Our next one, I mean, they need to put somebody on that camera.
Did you have a lot of coffee before you came?
I want to just run around right now.
Okay. Well, we need to let Chase out for a walk. So,
Yeah.
It's like a dog.
Thank you.
well, Chase, Parker, or Ryan, and Tygon, Chris, Beanmaster, thank you guys so much. Amity Brothers Coffee,
Is it in the shot?
Yep. It's not focused, but
and there's
And the
an
mask.
and the O&S mask.
Get your mask
September 18th to September 21st.
All right.
at 12 a.m.
12 a.m. 12 a.m.
All right.
All right. See you.